I am recording. Are you recording?
I am recording.
Okay. Laurence, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to this one because I think there's a lot that we can go over. I think before we start, I do have a question, and I do think a lot of people want to know this. Why are you always just training in a t-shirt when it's 32, 33 degree weather? I look around the rest of the complex. Everyone's got their beanies, got their stadium jackets on, and we look over at you, and you're just in your shorts and your t-shirt.
It's the wonderful Celtic blood.
Yeah,
I don't feel the cold much. The only thing that gets cold really is my hands.
Okay,
that's about it.
You're just a robot. It's brilliant. So
I'll try my best.
Look, thanks for coming in. There's a few things sort of want to go over with you today, but I want to start with Reading. Okay. Because I don't think people know that we're actually from the same town.
Different worlds, though.
Yeah, and it's like two guys from Reading who we didn't interact, we didn't know each other when we lived there, but then we've ended up in San Antonio. So I want to sort of start there and then talk about how you got to San Antonio and SC United. Yep. Obviously, you've been with us now 18 years, came over in 2008, and you're also running Worldwide Soccer, which is our camp company.
Yeah.
But tell me about the early years in Reading.
I grew up in an area of the city just outside the town centre, which was, a little different than other parts of the city. But yeah, I got 3 sisters, 1 brother, so wasn't the greatest part of town, but it was where we grew up, it was where we lived.
Where was it?
Cemetery Junction.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
The other side of the tracks, if you like.
Yeah, well, you had to drive through Cemetery Junction to get into the centre of Reading, right?
Depending on what, you've come from Woodley area, yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Through where we lived into the town centre, and but yeah, I didn't go to school in that area. I went to school in Woodley, and then in secondary school I went to school in Southcote.
Okay.
Which is again not the greatest part of the city.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's weird, you come over here and you end up working with someone that probably lived about half an hour away.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, so Reading we're a small town.
Yeah.
We're just west of London. I always say, when anyone asks me, I say it's about 30 miles because we could get the train from Reading into sort of London, into Paddington, and it would take about half an hour. Yeah. So we're a small town there. We have like Oxford's nearby us, Cambridge is nearby, Swindon, down in the south. Where did you go to school?
So
you mentioned Woodley. That's where I grew up.
Yeah, primary school I went to St Dominic's.
Okay.
Which was a Catholic school near Woodford Park.
Yeah.
Where we used to probably play growing up.
Yeah.
And then I went to Hugh Farndon.
You went to
on
Hugh
the other
Farndon.
side of the city.
So Woodford Park was massive park where we would get there on a Sunday or a Saturday and we play for our youth teams. Who was your youth teams?
As a kid, I played for Woodley Saints. I think I was 4 or 5 until I want to say 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And then I went to Woodley Wanderers for a year. And then ended up playing for Christ the King up in Whitley for 5 years, I think it was.
Because I played for Woodley Hammers
and
Woodley Saints.
Oh, you did the Tottenham Arsenal rivalry.
I did. I was going to say that, like the Woodley Hammers, the Woodley Saints hated each other.
Yeah.
And I did. I jumped ship from Hammers to Saints. I don't know. Was there a rival with Woodley Wanderers? They kind of
not really. I don't think they. When I was a kid, they weren't a big club. They weren't around as much as other ones like Gordon Robbins and Thatcham Tornadoes and all the rest of them.
Do you have any early memories of playing for the Woodley teams or the youth teams or the school?
Yeah, we used to play at Wangels Cops at school.
Okay.
So that was our sort of home ground or home training.
So that was the secondary school. So that'd be like the high school.
Yeah, so
over
like
here.
a high school and over here.
Yeah. And the schools have big rivalries as well.
Oh yeah. Saturday mornings, I think we used to go out and play there, training. Woodford Park, we played a lot of our games at.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just, I think I was 4 or 5 years old when I started, but I think the biggest thing they don't understand over here is when we were 4 or 5 years old, we were playing 11-11. We never did the small-sided.
We were back then, weren't we?
Everything was big, massive fields and, 3'2" with our hands in the air, couldn't get the ball out of the box.
I know it's changed. I know like the setup in England has changed as well to more small-sided games, and it was actually Manchester United did a big study. 4v4 thing. Yeah, maybe we touch on that later if we have time. But you're right. I can remember my first game for Woodley Hammers, just turning up on a Saturday and yeah, being thrown in at left back on a huge field
Yeah.
at like the age of 9. I'm gone like go and play, like go and run around and play.
Yeah, it was-
some slide tackles in the mud, and it was
It's different though, because it was all parent managers for the most part, especially in like the youth game, like the real little ones. So, you know, I feel like it probably wasn't as organised now as it is what we have going here.
Yeah.
You know, what we have with the kids over here, we didn't have that.
Did you ever have proper coaching up until? Because when did you stay till like 18? Did you play from like for the youth clubs from like a young
I
age up until like
16 or
17
17 when I stopped.
So
playing.
at 16 and 17, did you still have parent coaches, or had your club transitioned to a little bit more coaching?
I can't think now. I think it might a little bit of both. I think when I got to that sort of teenage, a lot more people wanted to do it properly.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a dad who played growing up, or it wasn't a dad whose kid was playing. It was becoming a little bit more like what we have now. Like
I just had parent coaches. And I look at our training sessions that we run to this day, never had any of that.
I know, no.
It was we'll turn up at Woodford Park, and we just scrimmaged for like 90 minutes or something.
I mean, there might have been some form of a structure,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah.
The only coach I had was when we were at Woodley Hammers, one of the players knew like a non-league player.
Okay.
Or he might have been at Brentford. A guy called Kevin Ratcliffe might have been at Brentford. I have to look him up.
Not the guy that played for Everton.
No, not the guy. No, maybe it's not Ratcliffe, but there was a Brentford. There was a lower level player, because I mean back then Brentford were like Division 2 or whatever,
Yeah.
or way down. But he'd come in and run some training sessions. But that's as close as I got to like proper coaching.
I don't know if we had necessarily that.
Yeah,
I mean, no pros coming in or anything like that.
Okay, when I moved to Wokingham Town and then Bracknell Town, that's when I had. It wasn't parents anymore.
Yeah.
So for Wokingham and Bracknell was a little bit of a higher level up. I moved there when I was 16, like Allied Counties.
Okay.
So now you're playing like midweeks as well. It's a little bit more of an academy kind of thing. I think I made the reserves, never played for the first team, but was always in the youth teams. That was probably the only time I started having really an insight into activities and drills and the way we played.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I really enjoyed
Stepping into
Wokingham
men's
Town.
leagues is a whole different game, isn't it?
I mean, I didn't. So I played men's league in Reading after university. Okay. So I went to university and then came back and played in the Reading league and played for Reading Old Blues.
Yeah.
Did you play men's league?
I played at university, but I didn't play after that. I mean,
You didn't?
not long after I finished university, I moved to the States, so I didn't really spend a ton of time after finishing university playing local leagues and stuff.
I enjoyed my Saturday league. That's what I do miss about over here.
The changing room, the camaraderie.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? So like, we're 19, 20 or 21, just out of college. And Saturdays, we play our game, and then it's like you said, the camaraderie, the changing rooms. We're probably out on the town. We're probably out on Reading Town having a few drinks afterwards.
No comments on that one before the game.
Before we then turn around and play again on a Sunday. But I mean, Shuby was in here the other day, and we were just talking about the culture, and we lived, we breathed.
Oh yeah.
It's a
I saw some of that. I mean, he touched on street soccer.
Yeah.
Street ball, and I mean, it literally was like I'd go to my grandparents or my parents, and you'd stop for the cars to drive past, and you just keep playing.
Yeah.
You just make up random games like Kirby and just.
What's Kirby?
You try and hit the ball against the curb and come back to you and control it.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah.
So we kind of all street games. I mean, literally in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
You were talking about, goals and stuff, trees and bins and bikes and jumpers. I mean, it was literally, that was what it was.
So I had a little bit of time playing for Woodcote and Stoke Row.
Okay.
And on our field,
Oh God.
I'm left-footed, so I was the left back or the left winger. And on our field, there's a big giant tree, right next to the touchline, and the roots came onto the field.
Oh.
And so when the ball's been
Tripped
pinged
up on
out
the
to
tree.
when the ball's been pinged out to me on the left, people complain about the state of fields over here or anything like that.
Oh,
But when the
praise
ball's
them.
pinged out to me and I'm racing down the wing, I'm like having to jump over tree roots as well, like proper
tell you,
Sunday
I mean,
league.
There are complexes and fields here that you're like, it's a bit rough, but nothing like 7, 8, 9 years old playing on a field where ice will just gash your leg open.
Yeah.
Slipping on the
Yep.
frost and
It's like
I mean, there were some rough fields.
the cows are grazing on the next field
What
over.
pitch next to you, and you're like, we got to play in this.
Yeah, brilliant. So Reading as a professional team as well.
Yeah.
I know, you're a Manchester United fan. I'm a Tottenham fan, but Reading does have a pro team.
Yeah.
They're now at the Majeski Stadium, but they were when we were growing up at Elm Park.
Yeah.
Like one of those,
It's,
10,000 standing room only.
what's really funny about that is, so my dad literally lived about 15, 20 houses down the street. So Elm Park was here,
Yeah.
and he lived on the same street on the other side of the road.
What was the street that runs?
Norcock Road.
Norcock Road, yeah.
So he lived there growing up as a kid. His family moved from Ireland and whatnot, but he grew up right across the street from Elm Park.
Was he a Reading fan?
No, he's a Man United fan. That's why.
Okay, that's right. You're Man United. Did he take you though to the games?
I went to watch them twice. Once I was sat, I can't remember the name of the stand, the seating stand on the side.
Yeah.
On the side of Norcock Road, and then there was a standing one behind the goal. I went there a couple of times I can't remember who I was watching, but I went to watch a Man United game there as well. He got me tickets for my birthday.
We were chatting off camera about this because I went to Reading a little bit at Elm Park, but my dad was a police officer at Thames Valley, so he'd actually on match days was part of the police team that would be in the ground, and he got us tickets to that the Man United game, and we looked it up. Didn't we? It was like 1996.
It's crazy, isn't it?
FA Cup third round or fourth round or something.
Yeah.
United won 3-0, and they had players in their team like Eric Cantona, Ryan Giggs scored the first goal.
Players that won the treble.
Schmeichel was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Steve Bruce, the Nevilles, like the class of '92. You got to see him.
Yeah, and the thing for the American fans is the current Wrexham manager was playing for Reading.
Phil Parkinson was playing for Reading.
Yep.
With Jimmy Quinn. We just looked up again. It was Jimmy Quinn, Trevor Morley.
Yeah.
Andy Burnell, Nicky Hammond was the goalkeeper, but yeah, Phil Parkinson, who is the Wrexham manager, was a Reading player. That's cool.
I know.
Have you seen Man United play?
Have I seen Man
Yeah,
United?
did you go? Did you?
I had a season ticket before I moved to the States.
Oh, you did. You did.
So I'd go up when I wasn't working on the weekends at Arsenal. I'd go up and watch United.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was fun. Like I was sitting behind the goal, away fans kind of just up on the left of me, which City and Liverpool and the rest of it was.
Did you? So United hates Liverpool. There's their big rival. I know there's Manchester United and there's Man City. They'll always be rivals, but the big rivalry really.
The two biggest rivalries are Liverpool and Leeds.
Right. Okay. Did you go to any of those games? Like, do you ever go to see Man United, Liverpool, Man United, Leeds?
Yeah, I had a season ticket, so I'd sit in the east stand behind the goal, and the away fans would just be up on the left behind us.
Yeah.
I think 2 years ahead, and then I moved to the States, so it was eye-opening sometimes.
Yeah.
You listen to the sports here when they're chanting and singing on the telly, American football, basketball. When you go and watch a football game in Europe, and it's like
it's hard to describe the atmosphere, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
like over in Europe.
But the funny thing is creativity of the songs. I mean, some you can't repeat on camera, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Just listening to 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people singing random songs.
Yeah. You think we get on the referees in America? Go and referee in England.
Even the youth level. Oh, that's bad as well. I remember watching when I was a kid. You'd have dads on the sideline or mums on the sideline, and they'd be like F-bombs and shouting at the referee.
I hope they're paid well.
Yeah, no, I doubt it.
So that leads into. So how did you get to San Antonio then?
So I was working in London at Arsenal, and I knew I wanted to get into coaching. Like our dream as a kid was always to go.
Did you coach at Arsenal?
Not in the club. Like
Okay.
I did coach in there, some sort of community stuff, but I didn't coach for like the youth teams or anything. I didn't like coach with Arsenal.
Yeah.
I was sort of working in ticket office and corporate and stuff, and I was doing some coaching there as well, like outside the sort of realms of the club. And I was like, I want to, do this properly. So, you do a bit of coaching in college and in university. Your training ground, playing with your mates and whatnot. And you're doing this and that, and you're trying to make sessions, or you're trying to, it's for fun, but you still want to play, sort of thing, and win. And I started looking for different companies. So, I think I looked at one in Australia. Can't remember the name of the company. And then a couple over here, and then I got with Noel and Jay, and I say the rest is history.
Okay. Did you apply? Like, was there an advertisement, or is it just you looked up?
No, I think I
or...
was just online looking, different
Okay.
companies, different organisations, trying to find out coaching companies and
Right.
different countries and continents, and come across, I think it was Noel I spoke to first, to be honest. And then Jay came in later for the different interviews, and just got talking to him, and
Okay.
first time I think the visa was like 15 months, and then from there it just got different visas, and I haven't left.
Yeah. You're still here.
Still here.
So
The
2000,
goalpost.
2008, you came over.
Yeah.
I said you've been here 18 years, and that's obviously a lot to unpack. But can you remember like your early years over here, and kind of like the differences between soccer back then and England, and how it is today?
I mean, just the difference between what we have at the fields here and what we came over to is night and day compared to even what we had as kids. I mean, I first moved here, and I guess we rolled with the NASO and the basically the rec kids who either never touched the ball or just wanted to play. And we were at John James Park, McAllister Park. Spec Road. We a couple of schools we trained at, and
Yeah.
we didn't have facilities. Let's put it that way.
We didn't. We were dotted all around the city, weren't we?
We were.
So,
I mean, you were here a couple of years before me, but we had camps and clinics and stuff like that. But we didn't have a home necessarily. We made what we could with the kids we had, and I think when I came here, maybe 10 teams, maybe. I think when I came over.
Yeah, we didn't have many.
And within sort of 8, 9, 10 years, we got to like 50, 60.
50,
and we've gone from what we were to where we are now, and it's huge. But like when I was a kid, it's different. Like, I mean, you can attest to the fact that you went to school and you played with kids that loved the game. Mm-hmm. Even if they couldn't play, they loved it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I knew any kids back, 18 years ago who watched the game.
Do you think
who even talked about the game?
Do you think more watch the game now than did back then?
Oh yeah, I mean, my 15s, for example, I've got my 15 boys, and I'll have 4 or 5 of them come to me before practice. Even last night, one of the kids was talking about Real Madrid. He's like, "Oh, didn't watch the game. I can't believe we lost to them." I was like, and he's talking to me about Mbappe and Vinny, and I've got a couple of kids who support Man City, and then the rest of it, and they all want to go for the teams that win, but they're invested. They're watching it. They're trying to physically say, you know what, I like this player.
Yeah.
And it's not your Messi and Ronaldo's anymore. They're going off and looking at the Vinnies or the Mbappes or the newer Lamals and all the rest of it.
Who did you watch when you were growing up? Who was your idol?
Keane.
Roy Keane.
Roy Keane was my hero as a kid. I just loved him. Everything. His passion, his ability, his control, his touch, his passing. I mean, we had Giggs and Scholes, Beckham, Irwin, Pallister, Sharp, Bruce, but they're just Keane.
Yeah. If any football fan should watch the Class of '92 documentary.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I mean, it's something else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I was Gary Lineker. Gary Lineker was my idol, and that's how I became a striker in my younger days. Before I eventually
then got shoved to left back.
Got shoved to left back and centre back. But I think there's more. That's one thing that social media has done. All right, is that we have more access to games at our fingertips now. When we came over in 08, I was 05, you were 08. When we came over there, the early 2000s, I do think they had the Premier League. Because I can remember watching Tottenham Bolton on my wedding day, the morning of my wedding. But it was like cable network, right? It was cable network because there wasn't any Peacock. But I do think with all these apps, with all these apps, we have now access to Bundesliga, La Liga, Premier League. You said it the other day, like you told me, whatever game is on, like you'll watch it. I mean,
I'll watch. I mean, it drives my wife insane, but I'll sit and I'll put a game on the Bundesliga or Spanish League. I mean, I'll watch the MLS. I'll if it's a game on, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality obviously varies massively, but I don't know. It's just.
Do you never get bored of it?
No, I don't know what. It's just like I just love watching it.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have to concentrate on. I don't support either team playing sometimes, but I mean, social media, the invention of social media, and people saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I couldn't watch them. I couldn't support them. I couldn't." And I'm just like, "I'll watch it."
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go out sometimes on if I'm out here before a game or after a game, I'll go and watch any of the teams out here playing. It's just, I don't know. It's the passion I've had since I was 3 or 4 years old.
You are a student of the game.
I just love watching it.
And yeah, actually, you're right. You probably, out of everyone on our staff, watch the most amount of our teams in the club. Because when your games are done, you'll stick around and watch other games. And sometimes,
I mean, it's learning, but it's also engaging. Like, I think there's a lot of talk online right now about DNA. Specifically like what's the Man United DNA? We keep hiring coaches. But the DNA of us as a club, I think, is the fact that when we first moved here, there was you and Noel and Mark and Sally and, Jay and, others. And it's like, we'd go and watch, support, or just, like, be together. Like, at sessions, at games, it's a family atmosphere, and that was parents as well as kids and players. And I know you and Chubby talked about that in your last podcast, but it's just, sometimes it's not even support. It's just a desire to go and watch.
Yeah,
get to know the kids, or just be out there and watch the game.
That was one of the early things Jay said to me, that he always felt separated us. Was like, after all the games, we'd be texting each other.
Yeah,
Lawrence, how'd you get on? Oh, we've just won 4-3 or something. Or this guy did this.
With the banter on the top of it.
yeah. There's always going to be that banter as well. But like, even to this day, Jay started it. But now you look at the WhatsApp group that the club's got, and Ivan requests that everyone puts their scores in. It's not to monitor, results or how people are doing. Or
it's a support network,
even if you lose, like, it's not to be you lost that game. But it's important. Like, it's showing that support to each other, and then it's also a platform for our coaches to brag a little bit about their players and stuff. Yeah. And that's something that the club has always done from the very early days. To Ivan stepping in as DOC and keeping that going.
But I think it's important as well. I think you don't want to be, an organisation that has separate people that just go to work and go home. They interact with one or two people. I think there's something to be said where everyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to know them like their life personally, but to get to know them, what they like, what they do, how you can help them, how you can support them, and just, like I say, just have a laugh.
What does Mrs. O'Toole think about you always at the field?
She's used to it now, but it's difficult. I mean, I'm sure you know as well. Like, games, times, sessions, camps, travel. It's just a life, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Farah said that this is all she's ever known, because when we started dating and then got engaged and then got married, I was always a coach, so she doesn't know anything different. And to be fair, she's been amazing. I know Liz has been amazing for you.
Yeah,
really
she knows
supportive.
It's a passion of mine, and she supports it. She's got her passions, and she's enjoying her job, what she does now. She enjoys her teaching side of what she does. So she understands that sometimes if you find something you love, it's just go with it.
So the final thing I want to chat about. We said you don't have to hold back about this, but your thoughts on the current kind of youth game in San Antonio. Obviously, we've seen it develop and grow for 18 to 20 years, right? Yeah. So we know that the San Antonio soccer scene has grown massively from 08, to where we are now, 2026 today. But you've got some opinions, on how to make things better. What maybe that isn't great about it, but how do you think the scene is? Like, do you think we're going in a good direction? Do you think?
I mean, the game is evolved. Like, the kids now, the level of players, it's getting better. You can quite clearly see when we first came over here that we were working with baseball kids or kids that played American football or whatever they did, basketball. And it was almost seen as a stepping stone to another sport. Well, you've got to do this, or you've got to get hours. You've got to do extracurricular. So go and play soccer.
Yeah.
And I think now, and I look at my little boys that I coach, and I think you see now that these kids do want to play. They have a passion, and football is their passion. Still kids at a young age, they want to go and do football, baseball, whatever. But a lot of kids now are, no, I want to play soccer. I want to play this game because I love it. It's less stop start. It's more engaging. It's more flowing.
Yeah, there's a lot more clubs, and it feels like clubs are just springing up every day. But there's a lot more clubs now than there were back then. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good question.
It's good in terms of the fact that more players are playing, more kids are playing, right? The game is growing.
I think
Not so good in maybe that the talent pool is a little bit diverse.
it is. Going back to when we were kids. So I think the what separated us as kids growing up to what the kids here have is you played essentially based on your, should we say, village, if you like your area. There were very few multiple clubs in the same area. You know, there's maybe 2 or 3 teams in an area, and that was it. So the talent pool could spread across those teams, but you go and play others, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes away. So you were diverse in the fact that you had multiple teams to play against, but it wasn't condensed in the same area. Mm-hmm. And I think here, it's a good thing to have different sides of the city with teams. But I think we're just popping up teams left, right, and centre, and it's like, well, come here because we do this, or go there because we do that, or we offer this and we offer that. And it's like, to offer a level of competition is fine. I don't know whether you can change the philosophy. I mean, go back to what we talked about, DNA, of us, of Man United and whatnot, and, everyone's got a different philosophy, different DNA. But I don't know whether anything changes just because you put a few words out there, say we can do this, we can do that.
Too many leagues?
Too many leagues, I think. Too many opinions of how leagues should be run. Too many ways that things should be done that they aren't, or that they are, they shouldn't be. And I think we are saturating the market, with a lot of things that you don't always need to.
Right.
Having 10 clubs in the space of 15 miles.
Right.
You're looking at a population of what? A couple of thousand kids maybe.
Yeah.
And now you're spreading that even further, and then you're saying, well, San Antonio's behind Austin because of this, and Austin's behind Houston because of this, and it's like, well.
So what? I agree. I think we are behind the Houstons and your Dallas. I've always thought it's because Houston and Dallas is such a larger metro area or catchment area that they can pull more players, more talent. But that can't be the only reason. Why do you think we're behind? Is it because our talent pool is so dispersed? You've got some players are playing, some of the best players are at Classic, some of the best players are with us, some of the best players are with SAC, some of the best players are with Premier. Is that a case of why we can't
I mean,
compete,
it's an area of it. It's probably something that doesn't help the fact that the talent pool is spread, but I don't think that's the main problem. I think sometimes it comes down to the level of input, the level of coaching, the level of commitment, the diversity of, sessions and what you're trying to learn. We've talked in the past. I think part of the thing you see in South America and in Africa, in parts of Asia. I don't know if you've seen that Tom Byer, the guy that does all the stuff in Japan.
Yeah. In
Europe,
the play at home, train at home.
I think a lot of the problem is using sports outside of soccer to learn the game.
Okay.
The fitness, the running, the speed, the physicalness. I think sometimes it's a detriment. I think we can focus too much on making those kids faster, stronger, bigger. The win at all costs. The mentality that the sport of soccer is just physical.
Right.
I'm trying to get into my kids, and you can sort of ask the 15s and the 16s. My big thing is mental, like IQ. You can be the fastest kid on the field, the biggest kid, the strongest kid, but if the mental side of your game is 3 or 4 steps behind, you're struggling. I see. We talked about it in the last podcast, like the joysticking, telling the kids what to do. You have to let the kids fail. You have to give them the weapons to fail, and you have to make them make decisions. And we're going to lose games. You're going to make bad mistakes. I mean, I don't know if you saw the game the other day with Liverpool-Barnsley. Sloboslai tries to backheel the ball in the 6-yard box, and Barnsley score. But, I mean, that's the Premier high level.
Yeah.
But we have to let our kids do that, and we have to let our kids fail. And I think part of the problem
you'd
here.
You'd be okay with your right back heeling the ball to the centre forward in their own penalty area.
I've had my centre back try and bike it up the pitch.
Actually, I was just going to say we probably had some of our players do worse than trying to. But
I think we
in the box. But
I think
know
sometimes we stranglehold the kids into. I don't want to use the word fear, but I think we stranglehold them into limiting creativity and mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, I keep telling my 15s, and you know, you'll see them in practice and sessions. I'm saying, be creative. Try an outside the foot pass. You know, try a back heel. Try a around the corner pass. You know, hook it behind your heel and you know, change the direction of the pass. And 50% of the time they fail.
So that's where we're now critical as the coach, because so a few years ago, playing out the back was the big thing, right? Everyone wanted to do it. It's changed. I think people's opinions have changed a little bit on playing out the back now.
Even at the highest level, you can see the commentators.
Yeah, 100%. But you still see goalkeeper to centre back and then try and build through the thirds, etc. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a very high risk. Playing short passes, all right, from your goalkeeper with an objective to build through the thirds to get the ball into the attacking phase of the game is very high risk. Because if you lose that ball in
100%.
front on your edge of your own box, the opposition opponent gets a free shot, all right? And a lot of goals are conceded. We still see it a lot. I think our club's getting better at it, but like how those coaches hounding the players that makes those mistakes, and then that so the next time that player gets the ball, his coach has just had a go at him because the next time that kid gets the ball, he's just going to punt it long. Because I don't want to be yelled at by the coach
my
again.
thing
I
is,
mean,
you know, you're
so
right.
we need to reel it in, right?
Yeah, you're right about the playing at the back style, but for me, it isn't the playing at the back philosophy. It isn't, you know, some of my players will take a goal kick, and I mean, I've told them specifically, look, you can find a centre forward from the goal kick, do it.
Yeah.
You know, the laws of the game in this country, should we say, not all of them know them. So, you know, I'll tell them to find my centre forward, stood near the half the pitch near the D, and tell them to go and score. Eventually they'll drop off to give you space. But my thing about playing out from the back, for me, it isn't a thing where I want them to play short and suck the pressure in. I want them to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, they have to deal with pressure, especially if you're going to go and play, you know, semi-professional, professional. Like, you're going to have players pressing within 2-3 seconds.
Yeah.
So it isn't that I want them to play short just because it's the fad thing to do. It's like you have to give them the tools to say, you know what, you can play under pressure.
Yeah.
Like, you can play with players pressing you. I think you can play backwards, you can play sideways, you can play diagonal. And you have to let them make a decision whether you play to the centre back, to the centre mid, to the winger, or to the centre forward.
Yeah, because I mean that was just an example, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, it could be any part of the field, but us as coaches dictate the behaviour, right? So if we are just going to keep on hounding on these players to make mistakes, they're just going to play safe every time. And I think that's where I was trying to say, you know, you were like, hey, we've got to let them fail, and we have got to let them fail, and it's difficult as a coach, but we've got to be like, okay, right.
I don't just think it's the coach sometimes. I think it's also the culture.
There's other outside influences,
you know,
right,
the outside noise
Parents,
is like, well, you shouldn't let them do that. Oh, you're going to give a goal away if you play across the goal. My pet hate sometimes is when you say never to the middle. But I say to my boys, well, what's in the middle of the field? And they're like, the goal. So well, you can't score a goal if you don't go through the middle.
Right.
So, you know, there's things here, you know, that touching what we're talking about earlier. It is getting better. It's getting stronger. You know, the game is evolving, but it's still, for me, too direct.
Yeah.
It's a game of speed. It's a game of directness, and it's a game of, you know, well, we're better than you because you beat you 2-0. Okay, well, you have 4 shots and you made 15 passes in a game.
Right.
You know, I know I'm not a big fan of stats personally in sport, but you can look at how a team plays and how they carry out tasks and think, well, they'll get to a level now plateau because they don't think for themselves. They don't understand the game outside of the physicalness.
Yeah.
And I think that's still an area where we haven't yet got there.
No. To close on, because you said it quite a few times, and DNA. What's the Laurence O'Toole DNA?
For me, it's decision making and IQ. Like that's the one thing I'll tell my teams constantly. It's why, where, when, how.
Yeah.
Why are you passing? Why are you dribbling? How are you passing? How are you defending? How are you moving? When are you passing? Where are you passing? Are you passing to him because he's 5 yards away, or are you passing to him because he's 45 yards away? The DNA is I don't teach the physical side, the running, the tackling, the all that kind of stuff.
Can I quickly ask why not? Because we've had multiple conversations about speed, agility, and quickness, right? And I know you've never really been a big fan of it.
I just think you get 2 sessions a week, maybe 3 depending on the team you've got.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, it's only 15 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes per session, or whatever, or half an hour for one session and everything else. The ages that I coach with, U7 through
They don't need it.
U13, 14.
Yeah, they don't need it.
There isn't a necessity for them to go through ladders and hurdles. There's plenty of people out there, private coaches and stuff, who do that. They'll do the ladders, the hurdles, the fitness stuff, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But in a session, with the 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13-year-old, right, we're going to spend 15 minutes doing this. We're going to spend another 15 minutes doing this, and we're going to play. And they're like, when do I get to touch a ball?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I'm 10 years old.
Yeah.
My hamstrings are fine. I don't know why I'm doing this. There's a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
But it's not for me.
No, I agree. I think under 13s and up under 14s, you could start
The
slowly
high school age, they're growing,
it.
their puberty's coming through, their muscles are changing. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can spend 10, 15 minutes of session.
But from under 7s to under 12s.
But the little ones,
I just need it.
No. I think you have to teach them the game. Whether it's ball between two, or ball each, or, small-sided 3v3, 4v4.
Yeah.
They're not going to learn standing there doing ladders and hurdles.
Yeah. You just did your C license as well.
Yeah.
You were part of the group, like Shuby did it, Wade did it. Are they teaching like the Laurence DNA, right? The decision making, the IQ. Does the C license focus on you don't have to go into
they're going so they're part of it is now they want to go, player development, what how you should structure, how you can use statistics, essentially, how you focus on specific plans for a practice. So now
that's what Shuby said.
If you're coaching a game on a weekend and your training session that week was attacking,
right?
How many crosses did you get? How many passes forward? How many players in the box did you get? How many shots did you get? How many times did you play a through ball? They're focusing now on specific areas to design sessions to be completely specific about how you want to play.
Okay.
So it's not, well, we did attacking, so we're attacking where? Is it the left wing, the right wing? Is it in the box, outside the box? They're trying to bring it down to actual specific areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
Plan your sessions there, use statistics to understand what did and didn't work.
Yeah, I think that's what Shuby said as well. There's a lot of training based on the moment of the game and then functional, like
and then
said,
trying to sort of bring in the philosophies of individual stuff, how you can do this with the kid and what specific needs this kid has compared to that kid and whatnot. And I'm assuming the B's geared more towards planning, multiple weeks, specifically for kids and whatnot.
Oh, very cool. All right. Well, look, hey, thanks so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
We're 1 week down from the spring starting off. Do you have any aspirations or goals for the spring season? Or is it just business as usual?
Business as usual. First practice this week. Getting back into the rhythm. So it's a good fall. The 2 competitive teams I've got, U11. Very good season so far. I haven't won every game, but competing every game. The U11 boys playing prime at a high level. My U10's playing up to U11, competing and improving.
Yeah,
so
that's fantastic.
It's a start. We'll see how the spring goes, but I don't set what I want. In terms of we have to win this many games, we have to win this tournament, we have to get there. I think, sometimes putting that pressure on teams and players at the start of the season, they're like, well, we didn't win this tournament, coach, or, you told us to win 5 games and we won 3.
Right.
Like, well, did we fail? It's like, well, you play what's in front of you. You play the opponent.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no set.
Oh, well, cool. Well, hey, look, it's been brilliant you coming in. I always love talking
Trip down
to you.
memory lane.
It is a trip down memory lane, and yeah, I really enjoy the conversation. I always enjoy our conversations. We do a lot of work together when we're on the fields during tournament time, and we have a lot of time to chat about the past and nostalgia. So I just think it's kind of cool for other people to hear about your background and your upbringing and how football was back then and the journey to get here. Yeah. So thanks for sharing everything with us today, man.
Pleasure.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll call it there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Laurence.